everybody, it's Miss Moran again for our M308 Advanced Algebra 2 videos. All right, we're still working on our standard here that's determine the solutions to linear equations. Make sure you write that at the top of your notebook paper and that you also note down the video reference number, video 1.2.4. That's Unit 1, Standard 2, and video number 4 for this particular standard. And today we're going to be looking at literal equations. So these are equations that are actually formulas that we use for kind of application and word problems. So I'm not giving you the word problem, but we are going to manipulate these equations and use these real equations, these literal equations, and we're going to solve for a variable within them. So let's take a look. All right, so go ahead and write this down. I equals PRT. This is actually a simple interest formula if you're curious, and it calculates the interest based on how much money you put in, the rate at which you are earning your interest, and the time in which you leave it in the bank. So the P is how much you put in, R is your rate, and T is the time in which you leave the money in the bank, and that produces a value of your interest. And that's what I stands for. We use capital I for interest. All right, so if I want to solve for the variable t, we're going to have to get rid of everything around t and leave t alone. Because right now I have I equals, and what I want is t equals. We want t equals, and we have to figure that out. That's what solve for t means. So I'm going to think about what happened to t. And it looks like t was multiplied by p, and it was multiplied by r. Now we know because of the commutative property, it could have been multiplied by r and then multiplied by p, and it doesn't matter. It's still going to produce the same outcome. And the result of this was after we multiplied all that together, we got I. So if I need to undo these operations, I'm going to have to divide by r, and I'm going to have to divide by p. So that means I'm going to take this I, divide it by r, and divide it by p. So t is going to equal I divided by r and p. And this would be the form of our literal equation when we solve for t. Take a moment and pause if you need to, and when you're ready you can unpause and try the next problem. Okay, here's our next one. In this one we're going to want to solve for r. Okay, so this is a different type of, it's an, how do I describe this? It's an appreciation formula, so the value in which something increases over time. So let's go ahead and work for this, and we want to get r by itself. So I'm going to start by writing down what happened to r, and it looks like r was multiplied by t, and then this 1 was added to it, and then it was multiplied by p. And the result of that was to get a. So a was the result after we took r, multiplied it by t, added 1, and then multiplied it by p. So to undo this, we're going to have to divide by p. So I'm going to take a, and I'm going to divide it by p. I'm going to subtract 1, and I'm going to multiply that. Excuse me, I'm going to divide that. Let's erase that. We're not going to multiply. We're going to divide that by t. Okay, so now I've got this kind of really ugly looking formula, and we can leave it like this for right now. We also could find a common denominator in the numerator and maybe simplify this a little bit better, but we can leave it right here for right now. So this is what r equals if we were to solve for r. All right, take any notes that you need to. In addition to this, you can ask questions or leave some comments on Schoology, and also go ahead and finish the entrance slip.